We live in an age where those in power are openly using every weapon at their disposal to impose their will upon the future. Where the principles of authoritarianism and individualism stand in open conflict in the streets, in the courts, in the news, in everyday life. Where the choices we make and the choices that are made for us have consequences no one can foresee. You do not stand alone. You do not fight alone. You do not suffer alone. We are united. We resist. We are here with you. As long as there is a truth that remains hidden, as long as lies are spread openly, we will continue to speak out. We will continue to question. We will continue to be the united resistance.
Same thing we always do. Fight them until we can't.
Well, that's right, folks. Welcome on into a new time for United Resistance. Actually, a special time for this episode because, well, it is kind of an unprecedented night. It is midterm election day 2022. And man, right now we are seeing what would be considered, well, kind of at this point, from what we're seeing with what we were talking about behind the scenes, the red wave that was coming is pretty much a red tsunami right now. And, all I can say is I'm blown away, man. We are living in interesting damn times. We are really living in interesting damn times. This is going to be a fundamental change because this is America saying, fuck the woke ideology. We are finished with that. And I don't think it can underscore just how important that is. So, in doing so, we've assembled a great panel tonight. Of course, the usual suspects are here. Tommy in the Guinea Pig Collective, the beautiful and wonderful and looking amazing tonight, Janet from Another Planet, because I certainly am not going to say that Will is beautiful, although he is looking pretty dapper this evening.
Yes,
He's mentally tired.
I'll say it. You're looking damn sexy, Will.
See, there we go. We've got
shirt in 3 years and choking in this thing.
We've got Free Speech Gaming in the house. Steven and
what's up, everybody?
Steve, it's great to have you, man.
I'm kind of in after dark mode right now. My light died. Cat knocked it off the shelf.
We missed you. We missed you while you were in Orlando, and it's great to see you here.
Oh man, yeah, it's I missed being here. I did, but I got to say Orlando was great. The meetup was awesome. Getting to just go and meet everybody. And he's in the chat right now. Small Time Republic. Got to meet him in person, so that was awesome.
Yeah. Matt's a great dude. Small Time Republic's awesome. And we'll say hi to the chat here in a minute. I also want to welcome in one of my longtime friends. Actually, was the guy that got me involved in journalism so long ago. We've been friends since just going into ninth grade together. We met while we were still in eighth grade at separate schools. And then the following year, as our moms got introduced, they decided to send us off to Catholic school, which was the first and only year of Catholic high school that we went to. And then we went back to our moms and said, "Hey, we still want to go to school together, but we want to go to public school, Mom."
Get us the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So we did, and we've been friends for so long. God, and Dan Gillis is one of the best journalists here in the entire state of Ohio, in my opinion. One of the best sports writers in this state. And tonight, he is popping his political analysis cherry. So there is that. So it's a new venture for him. But hey, this is cool. It's kind of a new venture for all of us. Let's say hello to all those in chat. Of course, we are going out over YouTube on my YouTube channel, but also on my Twitch channel, because I thought,
for the record, Twitch, I don't dress like this every week.
I thought this stream was super important to get out over as many things as possible. So
hey, Drew, can we take just one moment and recognize YouTube for what they really are?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I love it. And of course, one of our longtime viewers and contributors, and that is Tolbat, aka TurboGrafx Tolbat, who is just now Tolbat, which is awesome. And he is coming to us from the great state of North Carolina. So we got a lot of people in a lot of key places that know about stuff that's going on. So let's say hello to the chat first off, and then we will dive into all the news and the current races. So let's start off. Vince Womack is here. Hail to Vince Womack. Of course, we have, and thank you to our viewer, Andrew 46 and 2. He said, LOL, you already got a misinformation label. Good job. That means you're doing something right. And of course, I'm not surprised that YouTube would do something like that, because we know that they are owned by Google. And who is Google owned by? The globalists.
I thought you were going to say a bunch of cunts, but
Well, yeah,
that'd be a good answer too.
Yeah, you can. They're synonymous. Hail to Big John DeBelvis. What's going on, John? Another one of our viewers from the great state of Ohio. Ohio with strong representation this evening. I like it. Let's see.
I do happen to live here. That is true.
Of course, we have Keely Chow in the house. Great to see Keely. Keely, man, thank you so for being here and doing what you do. Sean Estep is here, and hail to you. Lasso of Truth is here, our head mod and one of the other femme fatales of freedom. She is carrying the band hammer, so if there's any trolls that pop in, yeah, she's gonna squash them like a bug. And her first thing, I love how Trina comes in the chat. She says, "What's up, election deniers?" I love it. Hail to Terminus Est. What is going on there, Terminus? Great to see you, buddy. Godzillionaire is in the house. He's also wielding a wrench. What's up, Godzillionaire, our favorite kaiju? Ruben Christopher Haynes in the house. Happy election day to you, buddy. Great to see you.
Also, it was great seeing you again, Ruben, down in Florida.
Yeah, Ruben is good people.
Oh, yeah.
Hail to Chris Fisk. Let's get ready to stuff million ballots.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing that. They're doing that in PA, buddy.
Right.
Why else do you think
And
it's
Arizona.
That's what I was doing before the show.
Terminus Est with
Nobody suspected a thing.
Terminus Est with $5 super chat. So that's not a blood moon. It's a head of Drew's dong lit up by the brightness of the red wave.
Beware the Drew.
Drew, are you wearing your cat ears hat? No, I am not. I need Apollo on top of the chair to do that. Hail to just another red shirt. What's going on, buddy? Red shirt's hanging out in the chat as well. Wielding a wrench. Hail to DJ Odyssey. What is up? Coming to us from the great state of Illinois. Godzillionaire said, just noticed the YouTube election warning. Good job.
Didn't take you long.
Yeah, I mean, I love it because they already know that people are going to speak truth, and they don't like that. The YouTube hates the truth. I mean, that's just funny in itself.
They like the leftist truth.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Which equals lie.
Yeah, it really is. It's like they live on a complete other planet, though. I mean, because just some of the insane things that they think, it just it defies logic. That's what it is. Pinochet's helicopter tour says lurking and cruising. What's going on, buddy? Great to see you, Tony. Thanks for being in here. Papa Cotton said, "What's up with Will looking like a Fed?"
Hey, I wouldn't worry about that.
That's like the seventh different thing somebody has accused me of being tonight wearing this. I was accused of being a Fed. I was accused of being a Republican Senate candidate, a Republican gubernatorial candidate, a member of an undercover member of the ATF. I don't know what's undercover about this, by the way. But I mean,
I wouldn't worry about it. Will, don't worry about it, buddy. There's nothing to worry about it.
No,
here.
I love it. I can't get enough of
you know what? Everything is cool. Everything's copacetic. It's about as silent right now from the Democratic Party as it would be on one of my sets of Rust right now. The guinea pig in the background can attest to that. He's sleeping. He's not worried. We've already taken care of the competition. Right now, tonight, you got me on your side.
Yeah, the guinea pigs know better than to get behind the camera with you around.
That's right. Pope Italicus.
The over-under on me, by the way, the over-under on me losing this outfit is like an hour and 2 minutes. But
Pope Italicus is in the house. Hey, kids, what's up, Pope Italicus? Tina Bojan is coming to us from Chi-Town. What's going on, Tina? So I'm happy to see everybody. And with that, let's get into what exactly is going on with everything. So it's been an interesting day. It's been a day of, as I said in the opening monologue, America was standing up and rejecting what was a pretty shitty agenda. I mean, let's be honest. But the same things continue to happen. And one of the things we started off with, and I'll get to Pennsylvania in a minute, but I want to go to Arizona, to Maricopa County. And as people were turning out to go vote, even early this morning, they started to have strange machine malfunctions. The tabulators weren't working in some places. Other places were having strange malfunctions. So about 20% of the machines in Maricopa County were not working. I mean, think about that. And there's a reason for that. And we know that there is a very huge gubernatorial race going on there between Carrie Lake and Katie Hobbs. And there's already a conflict of interest. Anybody with a functioning brain can see it's a conflict of interest. And Katie Hobbs happens to be affiliated with Maricopa County and works the polls. That's not a problem within itself, but that isn't bad enough. You see the same things, the same suspicions we had about other elections happening in one of the same locales. That, to me, should be red flag number one. And that is why I think it is paramount that we have some oversight and some people looking into this, because at the very least, there's some criminal shit happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and let's go around the panel and get your guys' opinions on it. But I mean, when do these people answer for blatant interference? This is next level. You're talking breaking election law. So I don't know when these people are going to answer for it. So we'll start off with you, Janet. When do you
Well,
think these people are going to be held accountable?
honestly, unless somebody that wins in this election takes it and runs with it, I don't think anybody's going to pay for anything. And I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think there's enough push to do it. People are settling for what we have and settling in, but hopefully one of them will say, well, or a few of them will say something's got to be done. We got to punish some of these people, and somebody starts doing something. But I've sent you links all day from Twitter from different people cheating. I mean,
Yeah, it's happening all over.
wasn't her name Harrison or whatever on Fox? It showed that video of that guy just flipping
Harris
through, making
Faulkner.
marks. Yeah,
I
Faulkner.
think it was Harris Faulkner. I think I
Yeah.
saw that.
So I'm just saying, they're blatantly doing it. They don't even give a shit if anybody catches them because they know there's no consequences for their actions. So can't hold them accountable if nobody does it.
I want to acknowledge one of our viewers here on Twitch that just shared in the chat. My home state of New Hampshire did me proud on the governor. New Hampshire is a weird state. On the local level, the Republicans are the Rockefeller type, and Democrats tend to be more conservative than the national party. And yeah, Dark Sage, listen, there is places like that. Because let's forget, let's forget about the way that the demos usually run. All right, when you get to the core of most Americans, and Pope Metallica, thank you for the $10. We'll get to your super chat in a second. But when you think of the core of most Americans, people think from the center and then fan out to where, some of how they feel on the issues, wherever they line up. All right. So, but they always start at the center. So politics used to be both parties functioned that way. They started center and sort of moved out. And then you got into where radical ideology took over one or the other, and then you end up with the problem we have now. And that's putting it in a small nutshell, but it gets to what you're talking about. But there are some places that still kind of function in that manner. So I see what you're saying. Dark Sage continues, says Democrat, though, here in the governor race was a lunatic who was basically anti-education and demonized his own party, calling them out. And
that was an interesting strategy.
Yeah.
So Tim Ryan did. Tim Ryan tried that strategy here in Ohio. Didn't really work.
New Hampshire has been invaded by massholes. So that's just another entry. Let's get this super chat. Pope Metallica says, funny thing is, those tabulators were obtained by Katie Hobbs, the current Secretary of State in AZ. Razorfish just dropped that one in Styx's stream. Gee, that's very interesting that happened, but I'm not surprised. Katie Hobbs should have been recused from any sort of involvement in anything election related, period. I mean, you're directly running in a race. You cannot.
Well, yeah, shouldn't it have been done by an impartial party?
Yes.
You would think.
Well, it's one of those things, even if she did recuse herself from it, it's still going to be all of her staffers actually taking care of it. So it's kind of a fucked if you do, fucked if you don't. If anything, it would have given her some sort of talking point she could have used of like, well, look, I'm impartial. I'm completely out of it. But, the Dems are completely past even feigning that.
Well, the thing is, they passed all those laws.
Go ahead, Will. Go ahead, Will.
I was just going to say, normally when it comes to recusing, though, if an outfit is into the concept of people recusing themselves, they usually go pretty hard into it and then dig deep. And anybody that even has even sort of something vested, whether it be friendship, family, coworker, down to sometimes an acquaintance, usually those people are weeded out and told to excuse themselves. So if it's not happening, I mean, it happens in television. It doesn't happen in politics, right?
Mm-hmm.
It happens to look at the lottery. If I know the guy behind the counter, I can't cash it.
to address Darksage's point, I just want to say, Darksage, that's the way I vote. I vote, um, to who has what I feel are my best interests in mind, and that's how most Americans vote normally. But when you have such a radical agenda going on, in this case, nationwide, people were going for the populist candidates, and that's where we're starting to get a groundswell of support in rejecting kind of this lean in to socialism across this country. So that's why it's important and very significant what's happening today. So let me go ahead and go over to Tommy. And with the shenanigans that you've seen today, Tommy, do you think at some point there's going to be accountability?
I think at some point there is going to be, just because the simple fact that a lot of people have had enough. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen right away. It's going to take time. It's probably going to take years before we see that accountability. Right now, they're hiding behind the facade that they're doing everything right and that everybody else on the other side is evil and they're wrong and they're racist and they're a bunch of, I don't know, tree burning, cross burning rednecks out in the woods that are out to kill you at this point. I mean, you would think that they were actually trying to make a horror movie with the shit that they say about their opposition all the time.
Right.
But they're worried. They're worried. And you could tell that they've been worried because they've been like flooding social media with all these posts. They've been doing everything they can to try to spin the narrative at this point because they're frightened. They're frightened that people are waking up to their nonsense and that they are going to wind up being held accountable. I think at some point, if we get some people in there that have common sense, the first thing that should happen is execute order 66. But no, I mean, there needs to be accountability for these people. There needs to be term limits, first off. And I think there's a big, strong push for that right now because people are tired of seeing these incumbents that find a way to always keep their damn seat, even when they are extremely unpopular. We were talking about it before the stream with AOC. There's been plenty of times where they've taken polls, and she's extremely unpopular.
She polls terribly.
But somehow she always winds up being there and staying there somehow when these elections come up, and it's absolute nonsense. And I think at some point there's going to have to be accountability because you can't move forward if you allow the same type of bullshit to keep happening, and it's only going to get worse down the road if you don't address this situation. So, like I said, I think it's coming. It's going to be a ways down the road. It's kind of like that housing market crash that all of us know is coming. Right. We know it's right there on the horizon. It's just it's like hanging up and it's stalling. It's kind of like a line in Walmart. You know you're going to get to the front of that line eventually. It's just when.
Like the comparison.
That's the most depressing thing I've ever heard.
All right, all right. Let's go and get Dan's opinion. Do you think, based on what you've seen so far today, as far as some of the shenanigans, is there going to be accountability anytime soon?
It depends on who wins. If Arizona can go red, I would hope that there will be accountability from the new regime in that regard, and they do something to clean up their elections and make it so someone running for the biggest seat in the fucking state is overseeing election results in the largest county. That's ridiculous. And I think a lot of people now, I mean, the whole lottery thing yesterday really opened a lot of eyes inadvertently to the way
the Powerball.
Yeah. The way things can,
by the way.
What's that?
Yeah, somebody did, but it's like I told you, Will, the drawing got delayed for mysterious malfunction.
Yeah.
Right, the lottery is
from California. And then one person from California wound up winning.
California, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good for them.
That's interesting.
Good for them.
Yeah. So, go ahead. Right? But go ahead. Continue, Dan.
Sorry,
and I think a lot of people with that are finally kind of realizing that, hey, shit can get rigged. and shit can get rigged where it affects your life. And it's not just, we us Trumpers weren't just blowing smoke up everybody's ass for 2 years. No, this is real.
Well,
We're not just full of shit. We're not just spewing some fucking conspiracy theory. This actually happens, and it's happened, and it's trying to happen again. And I would hope that enough people are finally taking the fucking blue bandage off their fucking eyes and are looking and seeing that, this country was on the brink of something disastrous. If the liberals would have gotten their way, and if they would have gotten their way in this election, there might not have been a fair election the rest of our for quite some time. Every election would have been like, huh. And you hear these reports, and like everybody is. The one thing that I'm noticing is just everybody's jumping on their shit like immediately, whereas go back 2 years during the Biden fiasco, it was all delayed and no one really understood what was going on until after it happened. And now everybody is now looking for tells, looking for hints of anything shady, and people are jumping on their social medias, contacting whoever and saying, look, this doesn't seem right. And it's encouraging that there's the checks and balances now in place to where any shady fucking shenanigans that are going on are getting jumped on and are getting widespread. And thank God for Elon Musk owning Twitter, because I guarantee if he didn't a week ago, all this shit would have been shut down like you wouldn't believe.
Well, I want you to address Soul Assassin's comment 10:27 p.m. I highlighted it here. Most Soul Assassin says most likely they already have a fall guy or guys if the midterms go south. They'll probably blame Elon. Well, right now Elon is the new Trump. They're trying to pile on him.
Well, quite honestly, it's like everything else that they've done. I mean, look what they're doing right now with the economy. They're trying to their latest tactic. Of course, we knew that they were going to go in that direction anyways. Instead of accepting responsibility, this falls on their backs. They're trying to blame it on the previous administration. Like, we didn't see the spikes in the economy until last year. So you're telling me it took a year into his term for the previous administration's impacts to hit the economy? It doesn't work like that, pal. And even if that was the case, why did it keep going up?
Well, I was just going to say, listen, this has been all right present for decades. This is old school machine politics. It's the old tactic of, hey, we've got wink wink built-in fail safes in the swing states, so we can make or break you if you don't play by our rules. That's how it's always been. So you get the boost if you play ball, and if you are not playing ball, then you don't get said boost. Well, now that those little systems that give you the boost got exposed. So I'm hoping that there is accountability. Let's move over.
Jesus Christopher, real quick though, Drew, you know what you need? You absolutely need, after hearing you say that, you need that clip from Johnny Dangerously, because all I can hear, are you ready to play ball?
Well, can I say one thing before you go to the next person?
Go ahead.
I'm just hoping that after all this is cleared in the next few weeks, and they know exactly who won everything, that the people from each state will start saying, I think we just need to go back to paper ballots.
Yeah.
If they could just do that, I think it would make a huge change
Unless, of course, you live in Luzerne
in
County,
just this mess that we're seeing constantly. It just seems like it gets worse every single election. And I don't remember this kind of stuff ever happening when I was a little kid, when my parents would go in and fill out a ballot with
it didn't happen. It didn't happen when we were younger, but that's because we grew up in a time where it was also easier to hide. So, honestly, if it was happening, we didn't see it. And our parents didn't see it because it was hidden. And don't forget, the only thing that we had for the longest time was we took for granted what the media said because there was no way to call them on their bullshit.
Yeah.
So there was that. I want to go to Tobat because we haven't heard from him yet. And Tobat, what do you think so far about the shenanigans going on?
It's crazy, but it's expected. And thinking about it, I think it's going to get fixed eventually. And I think if you dug through the media now, you'd see some people are being charged for things with elections. I have to be careful what I say. But if people like Carrie Lake get elected, I think we'll start to see some changes.
All right, fair enough. Steven.
Yeah, so as far as accountability goes, I'm not trying to be black-pilled here. I'm just looking at past.
I'm not trying to be
black-pilled, but I don't think there's going to be much as far as direct accountability for the people who have been doing any sort of shenanigans, I'll say. But what I do think will happen, because what we've seen in other places and what we saw particularly happen after the 2000 election in places like Florida and Ohio, is you have very strong election protection laws that get passed in places like this. And ever since that's happened, those places have voted consistently Republican, back to back to back. Ever since they fixed their election, not fixed, but they actually protected their elections and gave strong, not fixed. Like they actually have, created systems that ensure election results are congruent with what people are putting in the ballot box. They have consistently been Republican down the line. And I see that happening in a lot of other places. I know here in Georgia, where I am, we've got a lot more poll watchers. We've got a lot more security as far as securing the ballots themselves. Our votes are counted digitally, which I'm kind of there with you, Janet, of it would be nice if we went back to paper ballots, but we do actually have a printed out paper ballot. So there is a way to go back and double check everything and make sure there aren't any shenanigans. And before I move on, I just wanted to ask if anybody wanted some quick updates. I got the polls open right here.
I was looking at your just now, Steve. I mean, this Herschel Walker race is tight.
It's tight. Real Clear Politics is projecting that it might go to a runoff,
I
December 6th runoff, which it very well could happen.
Well,
but Walker is sitting at up 1.4. Kemp pretty much has it in the bag at this point in time. 82% reporting, and I think he's up 9 points. I know you were asking about Michigan earlier. Whitmer still has Michigan pretty solid lead, but it's only 26% reporting. Arizona, I mean, that's what we've been talking about. They're showing a heavy lead for Hobbs, but with all of the shenanigans we saw going on there, I'm going to say shenanigans a lot tonight. People, if you want to have a drinking game at home, every time I say shenanigans, take a shot, and you will be fucked up by the end of the night. But, with everything we saw, I think that's one of the other big issues with what we saw happening in Arizona is that this was intentionally designed to get what is typically same-day voters, Republican voters, away from voting. You saw in videos people walking out of line because they're being told, put it in a box, we're going to take it downtown and count it after the fact, and people do not have trust in that process. And I don't blame them for not having trust in the process.
Imagine how that sounds.
I'm not leaving that goddamn
box. We're going to take it downtown.
Did you already say anything about Senator Scott?
Scott won. They just called Scott.
Because they're saying right now that he won in South Carolina.
Let's take a look. Let's pulling it up. I hope so. Tim Scott's awesome.
Well, the funny thing is, like they interviewed him after they called it. Then he's like talking about the fact that he's like it's like he's on Fox News talking right now, for crying out loud.
It's a landslide. Yeah, he's up 23 points. It looks.
So Tim Scott,
really good.
24 points.
Okay, so Tim Scott.
They're showing the balance of power right now on Fox.
Yeah.
42, the Democrats, and Republicans 41.
Tina
Is that the Senate?
I think so.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, Drew. Go ahead.
Tina Bojan I wanted to address her comment because this is really good. Stephen, if you want to read this and address it, go ahead.
30 years ago, I worked as an election judge once in Chicago during a presidential election. Serious shady shit goes down after the polls close. I believe it 110%, especially in Chicago. I mean, that place is known for being like the most politically corrupt place in the country.
Well,
Well,
they
no,
rigged the vote for
that's
Kennedy
I
back
lived
in
there 4
back in
years. I can attest to that.
that's a machine politics city, much like New York.
Big time.
New York is a machine politics city. Chicago is. All the major, all the major city centers in the United States ran on machine politics. That's how it was. LA's the same way. San Francisco. I mean,
I think Chicago is the most politically corrupt. As far as major cities go, Chicago to me is the most politically corrupt city in this country.
Hey,
more
you
than
know
New
what?
York, and I'm not just saying that because I'm from New York. More than LA, but in the end, I guess they all work together to a certain extent. So,
Are you sure you're not telling lies, Will?
huh?
I don't want to hear any more
You
of
want me
these
to go through-
lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
That's rare. I'll go put on
The
my best
one guy.
Farted t-shirt. Maybe you'll take me seriously.
Obama brought Chicago politics to D.C. So just
Exactly.
on that shirt.
Oh yeah.
And then
Absolutely.
Blagojevich tried to sell off his seat. I was in Illinois for that. That was great. That was a great episode.
John DeBellis, Big John, he says when AOC was getting heckled at her rally, she was dancing because she knows she will not lose.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, she just throws it at people's face. But, it's funny because this stream is going on Twitch. And God, I wouldn't say this on Twitch forever. Look, we talk about Twitch stocks here on Twitch. And, oh, my God, I know I said the Twitch taboo word. You're not supposed to say that. But guess what? AOC is the biggest one. So let's just be real. Amaranths, move over. You got competition. AOC's on your six. Tolbat, give me an update on North Carolina, sir.
Stand by.
All right, so we're
Reminds
gonna
me, let me
see.
pull up New York while I'm thinking about it.
Just pulled up North Carolina here, but if you got it, I'll let you go ahead, Tolbat.
I'm showing 77% in, with Ted Budd up by over 120, 30, 40, 140,000.
Nice. There we go. Because Ted, that is a crucial race. That race that Ted Budd's in, because if Ted Budd pulls that out, that's one of those swing races for Senate, I believe. So we need Ted Budd to pull that out.
Yeah, he's up 6 points right now.
What is going on with the Carrie Lake numbers now? Where's she at?
She's still down, I want to say, about 9 points.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. 40. Yep. About 9 point lead for Hobbs. Oh wow, there must have been a dump. Make that a 14 point lead for Hobbs. Hobbs has a 14 point lead. Yep. 50% reporting. 14 point lead. Yep.
Oh my God! That is such a joke. Look, I gotta say that Carrie Lake, just watching her campaign from afar, okay, this lady has run about as perfect a campaign as you could. I mean, she had an endorsement from a former Democrat. She had an endorsement from Tulsi Gabbard, for God's sakes. She had endorsement from President Trump. She went through and absolutely masterfully eviscerated the mainstream media every time that they tried to get her with gotcha questions or anything in those nice little interviews when they're following her on the trail. She absolutely tore them apart. And she did it with class. The woman, it was absolute political powerhouse. I don't know how in the hell that Katie Hobbs, of all people, can sit there and have this much of a lead unless it's absolutely a, a shenanigan-filled shit show.
Or the people just love having people walk over the border and them having to spend all their money on taking care of them and stuff. I mean, what other choice could there possibly be? They just want to be such nice, kind, helpful people to help all these people that is pouring over the border.
Oh, gee,
this is it right here.
Yeah.
So this, I got my screen pulled up here, or you pulled up my screen here. This is the big differential right here. It's all Maricopa County, 150,000 vote lead in Maricopa alone, with 53.1% reporting for Katie Hobbs. That's where it's all coming from. Now, it's the most populated county there.
It's also,
I mean, Phoenix is
You
like
only
the
need
fifth
one
most
county.
populated city in the country, for crying out
and
loud.
then
Yeah,
Pima County is a strong second
Pima.
with 100,000.
Yep.
Yeah, the past is
Tucson?
already 2 years ago has already proven that you only need 3, 4, 5 counties to sway in a whole election, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like so it looks like Pima County and Maricopa are the culprits, and I would venture to say that gee, after all that, it's Maricopa that's the problem.
Well, I imagine Sedona's in the bag for Lake. I mean, but unfortunately, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy, man. I don't understand. It just absolutely boggles the mind. I mean, anybody in their right mind. If you look at Carrie Lake just as a candidate, she was a good candidate, and you got a lady she's come out of the realm of mainstream media and tore down the curtain, told you what's happening, and showing you where the corruption is, and this is how things happen to her. And Chris Fisk says, "Wow, I didn't even know Carrie Lake's opponent's name, and yet she's winning by this amount after all those malfunctioning voting machines. Seriously, warm up the tar and get the feathers ready."
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So one thing I do want to point out, something that I saw happen with the Georgia election earlier with the Warnock-Walker race. It seems like they're having, right before they get to the 50% margin, there's a big dump that comes in. I think a lot of those are early voting results that get dumped in at that time, because the same thing happened with the Walker. Walker got up about 3 points, and immediately a huge dump came in, and he was down 6. And he's already come back, and he's now up 1.4. It's probably going to wind up going to runoff, unfortunately, because it's within that margin.
Yeah, because I think he had to get 51% to avoid runoff.
But they're not done reporting yet, so they're just projecting it's going to be a runoff.
It's possible.
But so we see that going on, and also with all of the machine malfunctions, now it depends on how if they properly handle all of the ballots that are going to be hand counted, downtown. Yeah. If they actually do that, same day votes, like I said earlier, same day voters are typically Republicans, so that might give Carrie Lake the lead she needs.
Well,
I want to say something about the craziness from PA. So, in case you folks didn't know, Fetterman is suing Pennsylvania because they had a Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruling that pretty much, that ballots that were incorrectly completed, and I'm talking with missing dates or incorrect dates, were to be thrown out. Well, he is suing the state of Pennsylvania, and I don't know that I can even say this with a straight face, to allow ballots that are incorrect to be counted.
Their hypocrisy knows no bounds.
The thing is, Drew, you're laughing. You're laughing about it, but the sad fact is that I'm sure that the judge is going to rule in his favor.
Mhm.
If they
I could
really-
probably bet money on it that he's going to rule and say, yeah, that he should win this case. And
Whether or not he does,
that's
it
where
wouldn't
we
surprise
are
me.
now in
And
politics
that's
for
the
some
sad thing.
reason.
I mean, but that's the most nonsense. It defies logic. It's the most nonsense lawsuit. If you don't fill out something correctly, then you have to go back to the drawing board, get a new one, and fill it out correctly. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. What the hell is this?
My butt's been
They're
wiped.
gonna go to court and say they can't go back and fill out them correctly and put it back in because we don't know how to find that person, the one person who used that ballot, to have them come back and fix it. See,
Well,
so
then the vote doesn't count. Period. You
Right.
don't fill it out correctly.
then they'll
the
say,
vote-
well, you can't throw it away because that's somebody's vote. See, they're gonna push it on. I'm just saying, I'm black pilled on it. I can't help it. I just see that the court's gonna rule in his favor, and he'll get whatever it is he wants, and then they're probably
Wow.
all for him.
Thanks,
I hope not.
Janet. Thanks,
I
Janet.
hope
for
not,
being,
I'm
Janet.
sorry.
Thanks
Trying to be
for
realistic.
thanks for being a wah. Appreciate it. It's just such a nonsense lawsuit. To me, that reeks of desperation for Fetterman. Because is Oz up like still?
No, it actually
No.
just flipped back
That's what I was
again
gonna say, it
recently.
flipped back to it. Yeah.
It's still a slim margin. 2-point lead for Fetterman right now.
But Fetterman may need those votes.
Hmm.
All right. As far
Ding.
as
Just so you know, you can thank Erie, Pittsburgh, Allentown, and
Oh,
Philadelphia.
sure.
well, fuck
Mhm.
Pittsburgh.
Everything else is
Pittsburgh
everything
sucks.
else is solid red.
Yeah, Pittsburgh sucks.
Wow.
We're a little biased, but yeah, Pittsburgh sucks.
Well, nothing shocks me anymore. It seems like it's just, oh well, that's the way it
Well, I've
is.
been politically desensitized for years.
Man, it bothers the hell out of me that this stuff's happening, and the Democrats are scared to death. They don't want a Republican majority in the House and Senate because guess what's going to happen? Then you're going to start to see hearings. You're going to get the Hunter Biden hearing. You're going to get all kind of things that start to come together. And that's what they don't want. Soul Assassin says Lurch must be a throwaway vote for people who don't like Oz. He called him Lurch. That's great.
I just want to make it clear that Fetterman is not the name of the candidate, but the man who created him.
Right.
John Fetterwoman.
Oh, man. Keely Chow says people in Philly would agree with you, Drew. Yeah, it just it's insane that that this stuff is happening, and Pennsylvania needs to get their election process and shit together. And hi, Apollo. And we need to have Arizona get their shit together. Because it's just right now, it's all askew, and there's other places too. It's not just Pennsylvania and Arizona. I mean, you see this stuff as Tommy alluded to before. We were talking about New York State. We're talking about New Jersey. I mean,
New York, which is on its way to staying blue as far as governor is concerned.
yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that real quick, the last time I was looking, I didn't see any more updates for Jersey either.
Yeah, Illinois has issues too, obviously.
I think New Jersey stayed blue across the board, but don't quote me on that.
Pope Metallica says a vote for Uncle Festerman is a vote for the semi-sentient mutation on his neck. That's who's in charge.
God.
Quato.
Uncle Festerman. That is so funny.
Uncle
Were there-
Festerman.
Were
That's
there
awesome.
even any seats open?
We got
in
a million
Jersey?
of them, and you're gonna hear them all.
I don't know. Was there a Senate race in Jersey?
I don't think there was
I
any
don't-
races.
Not
Let me look. Hold on. Let me take care of this one. See, it's right across the river.
Now you look like a stockbroker. When you're looking at your phone like that.
That's number 8. Thank you, Janet.
Careful saying that. The Twitter mob will come after him.
Oh, I know.
Schumer's going to retain his seat in the Senate.
Oh, big surprise there.
Oh,
yeah. Right. Woo. Okay.
Schumer's a lifer.
Obviously, Kathy Hochul's on her way. Sorry. Bad news. Yeah, okay. As for well, I told you I'd look up New Jersey, so go on with the show. I'll get New Jersey.
Yeah, so all right. I'm showing from journalist Miranda Devine, who I follow, who is an awesome journalist, by the way. J.D. Vance projected winner in Ohio by 53.8%.
Did they call that for him yet?
NBC News just did.
Very nice.
Oh,
he better not be a rhino. I'll tell you that much.
No, and that was my biggest concern.
That's my biggest concern with him because he flip flops on everything.
Yeah, and I'm one to be open minded and give people a chance. If the guy gets the job done, then I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
But I have to agree with you as of right now, Dan. I am still kind of one of those people that will look at him with a skeptical eye. I'll just say that.
The skepticism is strong with this one here.
Exactly, sir.
When it comes to the former never Trump guy, and then he goes and he gets Trump's endorsement. I'm like, really, dude? I don't know. Just and stuff about him just seems like he's saying what people want to hear, and he doesn't seem that not disingenuous. The opposite of that, sincere. And that's the vibe I get from him. Like I just get that rhino vibe, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that he is a true Trump supporter, true America First guy, true guy that will put Ohio first. That's the problem is we haven't had anybody except for Jim Jordan really who A, puts Ohio first and B, puts America first on top of that, And
sorry, Dan, go ahead.
And that's the one thing, like Rob Portman was a fucking piece of garbage. And we have just so many of these guys, either they're hard wing leftists or they're rhinos. And that's when he got the nomination, I'm like, oh fuck, the Ohio Republicans let me down again. And I'm hoping that, and I didn't want to vote for him, but I looked at the writing candidates and all of them were fucking wing leftists. I'm like, yeah, I can't vote for any of these idiots. So I voted for Vance. So I'm hoping that he stays true to what he said, that he isn't going to be another fucking empty suit politician that's out for his own interests. I'm hoping that he's a true outsider and that he truly does what he says he's going to do and what Trump believes he's going to be. So fingers crossed. I hope and pray that, he is better than fucking Texan Tim Ryan. Thank God he's done.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in a bar drinking a beer.
Yeah.
You talk about the disingenuous of J.D. Vance, and you're right about all that. And all that is definitely something to be skeptical about. On top of all that, how much time did he spend in California? After he left Ohio and went to California? And the only question is, I don't know this, how long before his campaign to be in the Ohio House, the Ohio Senate, how long before that did he finally decide to come back to Ohio after all those years in California?
That's a good question.
Oh, it's rhetorical. Yeah. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because you really don't hear a whole lot about, why he left and then why he suddenly came back.
I did a lot of research. I couldn't find a thing.
Yeah. And amazingly, I shouldn't say amazingly because the media in this country is pure shit. But amazingly, nobody
are hard to come by.
Yeah, basically, no one brought this up and tried to like push him on it. Not even like just with like Tim Ryan's little ads. He wrote a book about hillbillies, and he did something with some charity or whatever that still hasn't been proven. So I mean, your typical mudslinging campaign bullshit. But other than that, nothing has been brought
And that
up
pig
or.
is terrible.
There's never been never been anything of substance brought up. But I do want to kind of move over and welcome in my dear friend Wes Moody of the Wes Moody webcast, my brother from another mother, the guy that famously has sat in with me on probably the biggest moments in my career, from kind of being my co-pilot when I went on and appeared on John B. Wells' show, and then we had a nice big after show after that. And then I remember Wes was there and famously sat in for my interview with Laura Logan and was my co-interviewer for that. And man, it's still one of the biggest moments in my journalism career, in my career doing this period. And I love this guy. He's always backed me, and I've always backed him. And it's my tag team partner right there. So what's going on, Wes?
Well, I apologize for my tardiness. I've been adulting, which is never fun. That's why it's called adulting. My grandpa used to say, "If work were fun, it'd be called fun, not work." And so that's, yeah.
What we were talking about, in a nutshell, what was happening today with the shenanigans. First of all, the stuff that's happening in Pennsylvania, stuff that's definitely going down in Arizona.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it.
What was your take when you heard again those reports of shenanigans in Maricopa County?
20% of the machine's not working, people showing up, and we have to take your ballots to a special downtown location. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, this is as obvious as Biden hiding in his basement, as obvious as Biden getting like 20 people to a rally and those are probably staffers, by the way, versus, Trump packing stadiums. It's that obvious. It's just like, come on, man. And but by the way, I did want to make a comment about our Laura Logan interview. I do believe, not specifically referenced, that our interview with Laura Logan may have been referenced in reference to Elon Musk, whether or not he was a good guy or a bad guy. I think that part may have been, while we weren't named, it sounded like that interview was referenced.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a nice pat your head on the back moment. But the thing is man, I don't know, dude. I'm looking at some of these races like right now, and it's about time for another update. So, Steven, give us the update on Kerry Lake.
All right, let me go check Kerry Lake. I had the Senate pulled up here. Let's refresh. I don't know if we've gotten any updates in. It's still sitting at a solid. They've only reported 1% of the total vote in the time since we last updated, so still sitting at a 14-point lead for Hobbs. Let's see. Georgia, 86% reporting, 9-point lead for Kemp still, so we're looking at a pretty solid lead there. Who else are we looking at? Michigan. That gap's actually closing on Whitmer. I mean, only 33% reporting, but she's only 7 points up now, as opposed to the 12, I think, before when we last went over it. Zeldin's closing the gap as well, but 50% reporting, and he's down 21 points, so that's going to be a tough one. Also, I was just checking the Senate. Walker's coming close to closing that gap. He needs to secure another solid. He needs to secure another half a point, essentially, with 14% left to report in order to avoid the runoff election. Bud's got a solid lead in North Carolina, 10% left to report, with a 5-point lead. Let's see. Oz is still closing that gap. 71% reporting on Pennsylvania. He's down 1.5 points. So got a lot going on here. A lot of things changing. Masters is way behind in Arizona. 51% reporting. He's at 39.6% with Kelly having 58.1. So she's got a huge lead on him right now.
I thought he was a strong candidate too, but I didn't think that he had a chance until he started to pick up some momentum campaign-wise. I thought that Lake would pull him with her momentum, and then, see, this doesn't make any sense to me. Wes, I can't explain these numbers with Carrie Lake. I didn't expect her to underperform like this. It just doesn't make any sense. Unless this is all shenanigans.
So is anybody surprised about what's going on with Stacey Abrams?
No, Stacey Abrams is a clown, man. She just needs a red fucking nose. She's a clown.
I imagine people in Arizona right now feel the way that the entire Democratic Party felt after Hillary lost to Trump back in 2016.
Well, they definitely do not want Carrie Lake getting in there. That's for sure.
Yeah. Mike, the point is, I'm talking about the level of surprise. I mean,
it is a big surprise. She was
it's a huge surprise.
It is because, I think going into these, we were all kind of looking at Carrie Lake like, man, she is going to absolutely wreck Katie Hobbs because
she was one of the sure things.
Because she ran a good campaign, Wes.
She did.
There's no such thing as a sure thing.
Katie Hobbs is the Secretary of State who's in charge of the elections. So that should tell you something. I don't know. Maybe she was hiding in her basement. Maybe that's the key to winning elections. You hide in your basement. I don't know.
That's it. But what about California? I mean, I've been seeing on Twitter that Gavin, Nancy, and McCarthy are still projected to win again.
No reporting on California yet, but we can basically just assume they're gonna win.
California's California.
First of all,
a lot of zombies voting.
Well, yeah, that happens. But nobody even knows who his opponent is. And I watched the one debate they had, which was on PBS, one PBS station, the San Francisco PBS station. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "You're running for president." Like, no, dude. I mean, you've got better issues to run against Gavin on. He's like, "You're running for president. You are. This is a stepping stone to the presidency." We're like, we don't care about that. Talk about the homelessness, maybe, tyranny. I wish Jim Gallagher would have run, but he didn't. Jim Gallagher was our assembly person.
Gallagher would have been great for that because he could have took the hammer, went out to San Francisco, showed how he could smash the turds on the sidewalk. It would have been wondrous.
I really hope in Arizona, though, that it's just the ballots and the mail-in votes that have got this lady out ahead. I hope the second half of the votes that come in are all Republican. That would be nice.
It would be, but
it really should be.
How long do you think it'll be before we find that out? I mean,
one eternity later.
Exactly what I was.
So this, wow, man, she's way underperforming right now. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's
massive underperform.
Wow.
Good Lord. That would be like a California election right here.
Yeah, the thing is, they were fortifying beforehand to be ready for the states that they were worried that were going to have a chance of, galloping over them. So they were prepared to take care of the few counties they needed to take in the win, just like they did.
It's still hundreds of thousands of votes, though, not millions. So let's cross our fingers.
Well, they don't need hundreds of thousands. I mean, they only need hundreds of thousands. They don't need millions because there's not millions voting. I think they've learned from their mistakes before by having more votes than there are actual people that can vote. So, that proves they can learn from their mistakes.
All I'm saying.
Are you trying to say that the dead don't count? Is that what you're trying to say? The dead don't count? Shame on you, Janet.
I know, terrible.
How many voters are there? Again, how many voters are there in Garfield County registered?
I don't know, but I'm sure
No,
it's.
no. That was a bad movie reference. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know, but it's going to be close on. I think their numbers are going to be a little closer this time.
They have this Hobbs chick up by like 37 points in Pima County, which is
something's got to be going on.
Which is where Tucson is. What? 37 points.
Well, it nothing matters if there's no evidence or they don't do anything before all the votes are in and it's tabulated and considered official. It doesn't matter what they do. They can blatantly sit there and fill out the ballots themselves and put them in the machine. If nobody does anything, it doesn't matter.
And in Maricopa, where it's even more critical. There's so many more votes in Maricopa. She's up by like 16 points. That's.
Well, I'll say the gap is closing in.
Pima than Maricopa.
Just got an update here. Gap is starting to close in now. 51% reporting in Arizona. It's now only a 13-point lead.
Oh, that's
for
better.
Hobbs. So it's slowly closing in.
Listening to this program.
Yeah, right.
So, I hope. I mean, I still have hope in me. I just common sense is telling me
you gotta
don't
have hope,
put your hopes up.
All right, there is something I want Stephen or Tolbat to check on, and that is tell me what's going on with our good friend Jared Majeski in the House race.
You're not going to like it.
Oh, I mean, I'll tell you, the Democrats have pretty much given up on the House. Let's take a look. Excuse me, Kitty. Oh,
last I checked, you're not going to like it. Maybe it's been a while.
Let's see, Majeski.
Well, I'm glad I didn't get the big bottle of whiskey tonight. That would have been bad.
Majeski is down. He's down about 13 points.
Still considerably?
Right now.
13.
76% reporting, down 13 points.
That's not good. Another term for Marcy Captor. What was it like living without, well, I'm not going to say without radio. How about without television? We'll go back that far.
Yeah.
I'll say as far as the House goes, I mean, overall Republicans they're gonna maintain their lead.
I just saw a race in Virginia flip for Republicans. Jen Kaggins or Kiggins.
She took the lead?
She won.
Oh, they called it.
Yeah, they called it for her. I just saw that on Twitter. Sean McKenzie tweeted it. Took out Elaine Luria.
Well, for me, that came out of nowhere because I haven't looked in a while. But...
Well, Real Clear just called Ohio for Vance, but that might just be a projection.
There's a lot of the media is now tweeting out that Vance won. So
yeah,
I was about to say that's that was going to come down very soon because it's not that gap isn't really narrowing.
Well, man, I'm really interested in this Arizona race now because I'm just baffled.
That's going to be one of the races that is not over for quite a while after tonight. I just have a feeling. Wow. There's no way that. First of all, if this trend continues with Lake being down as far as she is, they're not going to certify that election tonight. There's no way.
Well, Project Veritas just broke some shit, man. You guys got to see this. You guys have to see this. This is crazy. Look at this. Let me pull this tweet up. This is insane. Our good friend Laura Logan just shared this out. Wow, this is explosive.
Oh, I just seen this come across.
Yeah.
This is referred to as electioneering. Check this out. Not only are Democratic candidates' campaign materials posted at the door where the voting is located, watch as our undercover journalists are handed instructions on exactly how to vote.
Here's the Democratic Party.
What's that?
I know. I said here's the Democratic Party.
Okay.
There's a for Democrat, for the common man, and just the guy that got a lot of money, you want some tax shelter.
What?
That's the way to go.
What do you do, Rudy? Do you work here? Or?
I'm a committee person.
Do you work with the office here?
I'm a committee person.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Whoever the majority of the community supports.
Yeah.
So you're telling me I should vote John Fetterman, I should vote Joshua
If you
Shapiro.
vote Democrat,
That'll make.
all of them are the Democrats. You only got one against one.
And, and now they're kind of standing more for, at this point,
for poor people, and he's always say more for people with money.
Right. Usually, yeah. So you're saying more? It's better off private. Yeah.
Anyone need Democratic Party information? You good? We're scared of him.
We're scared of him. Yeah.
These guys are way right. I mean, I'm for someone being liberal, but not way liberal.
Yeah, right's gone
Somebody
too
being
far.
way right.
Yeah.
You know, like a Republican that's liberal or Democrat that's a little to the right. That's how I look at things. You know?
Yeah.
The middle road. We're scared of him. We're scared of him.
Okay, so don't vote for them.
Yes.
Okay.
These guys are scary.
Okay.
Wow.
See, here's what's really disgusting about the whole thing is that
Drew, I hate to interrupt you, but Tim Ryan just conceded.
Okay.
Yay! Throw that past to Bernie.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. We just saw illegal activity.
Yep.
We
Well,
just
here-
saw.
Well,
How far
But do you think anything will happen before they're certify that election?
No.
I'm curious about
See,
something.
Go
it
ahead,
won't
Will.
matter afterward because you know how hard it's going to be to overturn that once it's certified. See, it has to happen. Something has to happen before it's certified, or it's not going to make a difference. We've
Well,
already
look,
found that
here's
out.
what's really
Go
disgusting
ahead,
about
Wes.
the whole. Here's what's really disgusting about the whole thing. This guy's talking about poor people, and the fact of the matter is, the Democrats, they want people to be poor. They want people to be poor. They want them to be
Free
desperate.
stuff.
And that's the whole point.
Got
And
to keep welfare alive.
Exactly. And they want them to be dependent, and they don't want it to be an ownership society. They want it to be, they want that
Supplement
Klaus
the
Schwab
team.
vision. They want, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. Everything will be provided for you. All your basic needs will be met. You won't live like a real full life. You won't own it.
Everything will be done for you.
Yeah.
Well, the sad thing is that people think that's what they want.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
people
is
are
what you
actually
want.
voting
Stop
for that.
worrying about your freedoms. Just vote Republican because Ani told you to. Do it.
And exactly, Janet. And that's and they think that because they don't know any better, and we're trying to get them out of that.
That's why it's illegal to have signs at the door or people pointing out what you're supposed to do right before you walk in, because a lot of people will just remember what they were just told, and that's what they're going to click on. That's why it's illegal. But the the truth is that nobody will do shit about it.
All right,
That's
this is
sad.
part of the thing
That's
I was
where
talking
we
about
are
before,
in our country.
Janet. That's part of the thing I was talking about before, especially what we've been seeing on social media, especially with freaking Twitter, with all the freaking Democratic posts. And they're doing that for a reason, because they're trying to influence the people that always got their faces buried in their phones. And what are they going? What are most of those kids that you've seen outside all those polling offices doing? They're sitting there with their faces buried in their phones on the social media app. And this is where the Democrats are just playing the Republicans, I think, to a certain degree. They're using that tool to influence idiots. And to a smaller degree, it is working.
It is. It is working.
All right.
And they have courts that they know will do diddly squat. So
Go ahead, Will.
Well, before I say what I was going to say, I'm just seeing Fox News is calling the gubernatorial election in Georgia for Kemp.
Okay.
So that's almost
Kemp.
official now.
Okay.
Now my
say
question
what you're gonna
was,
say.
no, it's just I'm actually curious about this. I don't know for sure, but as far as this, what we saw in that video was obviously illegal because they're standing like in the doorway handing out this stuff on the property at the polling station. But my question is, if they were like to step off at the curb into the street, which is city property, would that be legal? Would that be legal up as they're walking in?
Yes, yes. Because
but then why is it that they feel? Then why is it that they can't just? I mean, what's really the difference? What are they accomplishing by taking it to the other side of the line? And I don't know, unless they're just not thinking about it to begin with.
It's because they'll disallow one side from being able to do that. They'll allow Republicans to, try and get people within. Typically, the laws depends state by state, but typically it's within 150 feet of the polling location. You have to stay outside of that range in order to do any sort of advertising. So they'll allow Republicans to go outside of there. So you have people waving signs, handing out pamphlets and stuff like that. But like Janet was saying, as you get closer to the door, a lot of people are.
That video looked to me like they were blocking. It was like they were blocking the door.
Almost, yeah. And they stop you before you walk in and say, hey, here's how you vote. And there's a lot of people, like Janet was saying, who don't really pay attention to politics. And they're just going to do what the very last thing they were told, the freshest thing in their mind.
That's what pops in their mind. That's why when you go inside a polling station, you cannot wear a hat or a T-shirt or anything else that has any names or anything, logos or anything on it for anyone that's running. That is, you're not supposed to be doing that. I've worked the polls. That's why I'm just telling you what I know. What those guys were doing is illegal, but it doesn't matter if they're what they do. If nobody holds them accountable before it's certified, it's not going to make any difference. And I'm so thankful that they're showing that, because that's blatantly illegal what they just did. But will anybody call the sheriff right now? Get on the phone and call the sheriff and show them that shit and do something about it.
Unless they got them in the pocket too.
Well,
I'm looking. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say when I went to when I voted early, when I went to the Board of Elections, again, it's exactly what Stephen said. They had people as far as where the parking lot meets the sidewalk to walk up to the door of the Board of Elections. And that was it. There was nothing that went, where there was advertisement, anything else. There was nothing as you stepped onto the sidewalk and got into the Board of Elections building. There was nothing as far as advertisement allowed. Democrat and Republican were alike. We're allowed to be into that parking lot area that met up to the sidewalk, but nothing past that. And it's absolutely, when you see footage like that, that's mind-boggling to me. What did you think when you saw that footage, Tobet?
Oh, okay.
It's sickening.
Yeah.
It's just, it's what I expect, though. I mean, we see this every time.
Do you think they'll do anything about it?
Well,
yeah. After the fact,
videos out there.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't think anything will happen before?
No, there's nothing but
certify it.
There's nothing but the only thing that Carrie Lake can do in a situation like this is sue. The only thing that was from Pennsylvania. The only thing that Oz, if it flips like that, can sue. Josh Shapiro apparently won his race. So, that sucks for Doug Mastriano. And Doug Mastriano was a hell of a candidate. Again, it's this type of shenanigans. And, this has got to get the fuck out of politics, man. The election process is one of the things that's supposed to be sacred. It's supposed to be a sacred institution. And when you have this shit muddying it up, it makes it so that the American people don't have a vote. Really, their votes amount to shit.
Yeah. We were talking about this before the show.
And that damn well grinds my gears, man. It pisses me off.
Well, I'm reading this right here real quick off of Twitter. Someone said, I think we need to focus on the positive. But AZ, let's hope, they're talking about Arizona, let's hope that Kerry can pull this out so we can have a come to Jesus with these elections. For F's sake, we're almost at hanging Chad's territory.
Oh, jeez.
See,
I think
so
we're past that.
that's just a random tweet that I just saw go by. So I'm just saying it's very frustrating for a lot of people. You know, it's not just us in this little panel, but a lot of people from just everywhere are seeing this stuff, and they're fed up with it. But what can you do if you don't have courts or people that are actually step up to the plate and try to do anything about it or change it before it's too late? That's
I just want to pass this along. I don't know if anybody sees this. 85% of the vote in the Georgia Senate race. Herschel Walker's lead is down to 4,436 votes.
Damn.
It's
definitely
too
the
close to
runoff
call.
territory. Yep.
It's going to be
definitely
runoff, and I'll say at least the
There's
last
no
time there was a
way,
runoff
yeah.
in Georgia,
TMI.
it did not go very well. Whole lot of
that.
shenanigans. There's another shot for you, everybody. I mean, there's 12% left to report in. It's possible, but highly unlikely that he'll close that gap.
Benny Johnson just tweeted, Ted Budd defeats Sherry Beasley in the election for U.S. House in North Carolina's 13th congressional district. So, yes, Ted Budd is in, and Sherry Beasley goes down to defeat.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Good.
So
wait. Is Bud the incumbent, or was that an open seat?
It was open. We had a Republican senator
an open
that
seat,
retired.
okay.
He retired.
Thank
you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. They've also called Hassan one in New Hampshire. Let's see. Schmidt run one in Missouri. Bennett in Colorado, and Murray in Washington for Senate. So we're actually sitting at a solid tie right now. Oz is closing that gap on Fetterman. Got 25% left to report. That's I don't know. Do they do runoffs in Pennsylvania?
I
can't remember. Each state's
I've
different. I
never
don't
seen
think they
one,
do.
I don't think
they do. So
Sure.
right now, I
Apparently
mean,
you don't need voter ID to vote in PA.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't
I
need a
voted in
pulse
New
to
York
vote
without
in
presenting
PA.
my ID. I voted 5 times in New York
sad
without presenting my
fact.
ID.
So Oz might take that. He's been closing the gap the whole time. It's less than a point difference between them, so we might get Pennsylvania. Connecticut right now, I mean, not enough reporting to really say anything solid. Wisconsin, we might get Johnson in Wisconsin. Let's see. Masters is looking like he's looking shut out right now. I mean, huge lead for Kelly.
The thing is, I got to say, we can't underscore the importance of Sarah Huckabee Sanders winning the governorship in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Because Arkansas is a good state to have a governor like her, because I think that she's gonna do good things. I think she's gonna be a governor along that kind of line of thinking of a DeSantis, Kristi Noem type. So I think she's gonna do really well.
I think she's going to do well.
So that's what I like about the fact of her winning that race. Man, I'm concerned about the. I'm concerned about, because there was one that I just saw that was not going well. Hochul, okay, yeah, Hochul won for sure in New York.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Legend of Zeldin wound up being Zeldin 2, The Adventure of Link.
You know what, Chris Fisk? Are they really that dumb? I know some people in Pennsylvania, and let me tell you what, some of them are gun-loving nut jobs, and they voted for Biden. So yes, they are that dumb.
Well, the term Three River Rednecks is pretty apt.
How is it, Kemp ahead or behind in Georgia?
I think they've called it for Kemp.
They called it.
Okay.
They called Kemp.
Yeah, they've called it.
John.
They just called. I hate to tell you this, but they just called Whitmer.
Big John DeBelbis says Michigan has been called for Whitmer.
I'll give John the credit on that one.
You know, that sucks because, man, I wanted Tudor Dixon to win that. I thought she would have been an excellent governor in Michigan. And I'll tell you what,
take Whitmer winning if what happens, it's what's happening to Lake wasn't happening. You know.
Well, I'll tell you this. So before, I'll go to you in a second, Janet, but just hear me out on this, you guys. If Trump on the 15th throws his hat in the race officially and says, I'm going to run, well, right there, you've got two excellent VP candidates in Kerry Lake and in Tudor Dixon. Shit, you couldn't go wrong either way.
I guess that's
because that's a hell of a strong ticket. Because if you're not going to get DeSantis as a VP, if he's dedicated to wanting to, do out his term in Florida and he's not going to run, well, shit, man, you go ahead and you pick up one of them gals and you make her your VP. And my goodness, that's a hell of a ticket. Good God, a Trump Lake campaign after the way she performed. My goodness, they would steamroll straight to the White House.
I just want to throw this in real quick about the Whitmer race. I wouldn't believe that, even though I'm seeing it here. I'm not seeing it here on Real Clear of them calling it for her. I also just checked even New York Times. They only have 35% of the votes in, and it's only a 5-point lead. So whoever called that, whatever mainstream media outlet that was, I think they're
you know what, Steven? That was Fox News.
That was Fox News. Yeah, they do that all the time. Yeah, they called Arizona in 2020 with 1%.
Fox News is trash anyway.
Yeah, what about
what
about J.D. Vance in Ohio? I think they said he won, right?
Conceded about a half an hour ago.
Yeah, won.
Yeah, Vance won for sure.
So I'll actually say Dixon is still looking pretty strong. There was a huge lead before early on, and she's been closing the gap pretty quickly.
Iowa got a Republican governor. Kim Reynolds won.
Oh, that's good.
I just saw a tweet by Ben Shapiro and it said, "Make America Florida."
Yeah.
Nebraska went red for governor too. Nebraska, they called that race.
Well, I'm just for
Hillen
for what
56.5.
I'll tell you what though. Really, no matter which way it was to end, here's the biggest problem, and I think a lot of these Democrats are overlooking it because they're stupid. They really are. They're that dumb. The way the economy is going, the economy is not getting any better. Families are still suffering left and right, and you see this constantly. I know all of us has gone out to the food market, and we've seen the jacked up prices, or we've seen certain things, again, are starting to disappear off the shelves. We all know that on the horizon, there's that big diesel shortage that's coming that's going to wind up affecting all the markets even more. If the Republicans are smart, they're going to actually really nail this home as this continues. And the Democrats, regardless of how they feel right now, whether they feel they're still on top and they feel like they have a message, they're not paying attention to what they're doing enough to actually convince people. They're not going to convince people that are suffering. It's like we were talking about with the Gen Zers. They're starting to wake up because they're out in the workforce. They can't go out on their own. They're still living at home with mom and dad, or they have to live with 4 or 5 friends in a small apartment. These are the type of people they have to convince, and they're running out of material to keep these people in the dark. And sooner or later, they're going to wind up having such a flip in the percentage of people that are going to give a shit of what they're saying that they're going to find themselves on the outside looking in again.
Well,
they thought that.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to say that I saw a tweet that somebody said Fetterman and Oz are tied right now.
Oh, nice.
They're really close. I just checked them. They're essentially tied. Yeah, about a point difference with Oz behind.
Go ahead.
We're talking a 35,000 vote difference.
Go ahead, Dan.
Well, they thought that raising the minimum wage would be the answer to everybody's problems. Everyone needs to make $15 an hour to flip burgers at McDonald's, and everything will be beautiful. And what they didn't realize is you make that happen, and the cost of everything else goes up. And I don't know how many times I got into arguments with people on social media about this. I'm like, you realize just because you're going to pay somebody $15 an hour when they were only making $8 before, nothing else is not going to change. Everything is going to go up to compensate to make that pay difference. Oh no, that's just greediness. I'm like, fuck you, you're an idiot. Wake the fuck up, people.
Well, I mean,
it's
that's
basic,
the thing.
It's basic economics.
Well, Dan, a lot of those people, they don't understand economics at all. I mean, they say, oh, well, all these companies are making money. Yeah, but these companies are making money, and they want to keep making money over top of that money. They want to see their percentages go up every year. They don't want to see them stagnate or even go down a little bit. Even if they are still in the black, they don't want to see the numbers come down. And the minute they start coming down, these businesses start panicking, and that's when they start raising prices. And these idiots that are sitting there backing this democratic idea that you got to tax these corporations to death in order to freaking make it, they just don't understand that. Eventually, what happens is a lot of these corporations and these places fold up and they go out of business. All the other ones have to pick up supply and demand, and then all their prices go up. So either way, they wind up losing in the end.
So why do they keep donating to Democrats if that's the facts? I don't understand that. I know. No, I'm talking about the big corporations and stuff like Amazon and Google and all them. Almost all their money goes towards Democrats. If they have to keep paying more and more in taxes, and their sales are going smaller and smaller because they're having to charge more and more to make the same amount of money, why do they keep donating to the people that are tearing them to shreds?
You can make that same excuse of why. I'm sorry, Stephen. I just want to get this out real quick. I mean, you can make that same excuse about what Gillette. Like, why did Gillette keep going with the woke ads when they were, what were they, like $8 billion in the hole at one point? Why did they keep doing it? It didn't make any sense. They did it for the sake of the agenda. And unfortunately, that is what you're seeing with the extreme side of the left now. It doesn't matter about profits and how much they lose. The only thing that matters is the agenda. Go ahead, Stephen. I'm sorry.
So the reason why they do the reason why a lot of the big corporations support higher corporate taxes is because it removes competition. It is going to cut into part of their bottom line as far as how much they're going to make of gross compared to profit. However, when you completely remove competition, they're playing the long-term game there. That's why they all push for stronger regulations, because they can pay off OSHA for the OSHA violations, whereas it precludes smaller companies from even coming into existence.
Yep. Okay. That makes sense. Sad, but
that's how they do it.
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, and also as far as the woke stuff, as Tommy was saying, I think a lot of that has to do with how we've allowed essentially communists and socialists to take over HR departments at corporations. The HR departments are the people who hire and determine who can get fired. And that's what they're constantly doing. And they're constantly pushing people out who just have common sense. It doesn't even have to follow along any sort of political ideology. Just if you have common sense, they're going to push you out because they know they can't brainwash you.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's getting bad, man. It's and this is why that even though we've had some what appears to be disappointing, but also assisted and manipulated losses today, we've still had a lot of gains. And what it shows, again, is people using their voting voice to put an end to a lot of the BS. And that is what is encouraging. And that, I think, is the big takeaway that we can have from this day. Because you've had a lot of amazing things. And one of the things that I want to talk about that is amazing right now is, go ahead and, Stephen, pull up the Oregon governor's race, if you would.
Oregon governors.
While he's doing that, by the way, the deficit for in Georgia, Walker is now up by less than 900 votes.
It's going to be a runoff.
Yeah.
We can go ahead and call that.
It's going to be a runoff.
I had an opening. I just decided.
So let's point out that Oregon governor's race because man, Christine Drazan is about to really make some history here because Oregon, I believe, hasn't had a Republican in that seat since '78. It goes back.
It's been a long time.
I believe you're exactly right. I think that's right.
And they're getting ready to possibly have a Republican governor if Drazan pulls out this race. And I mean, the people of Oregon don't like that governor as it is because, I mean, my God, she's been full of incompetence. She's let Antifa run wild. She's just absolutely devoid of any sort of political I guess.
J.D. Vance is giving his acceptance speech. Isn't that cute?
All right.
So Oregon governor race, only 47% reporting, and it is tight. That's within a point, less than a point. That is very tight. 10,000 vote difference right now. Very hard to call. But as we always see, look at that giant sea of red for the vast majority of the state, and then you got a few tiny blue areas. This is why I constantly am trying to push forth the point that we need state by state electoral college. We need to actually break down districts. If your district is putting an elector forward, that elector needs to go for whatever that district voted for. We don't need to be doing popular vote by state. It removes the purpose of having a popular vote because now rather than having the larger population states controlling the vote, we just have the cities controlling the vote.
Yep. And that's exactly what their agendas always wanted.
Yeah.
That's one of the two things that like the top two things I think that need to be changed right off the bat are what you just said, as well as the institution of term limits across the board.
Yes.
Yep.
Those are the top two.
The Sentinel says he's having Sentinel man. Sorry, brother. He's having a absolute fucking moment. Gavin fucking Newsom was reelected again.
They're saying, sorry.
I hope every fucking leftist piece of shit in this state chokes on their own farts.
Well, that was quick.
Oh man.
Fox News is saying that Georgia.
Hail to the woke breaker. Said what now, Janet? Georgia.
I said Fox News is saying that they're projecting Governor Kemp defeats Abrams.
Oh yeah. Kemp
they called that a while ago.
Yeah. Kemp
okay. Well, I didn't hear you guys say that. So
yeah.
Hey, maybe there might be someone out there that didn't know that.
Yeah, Kemp
They're just joining us. That won't watch mainstream news. So
yeah,
Abrams hasn't. Abrams hasn't conceded yet, but then again, she's not going to.
No.
Yeah.
Because
I wouldn't if I was her.
She's a gap. She's a gap tooth friggin' nard zombie. I mean, she's not gonna go and concede.
Even
if Stanley's kind of tied in with deep staters, aren't they?
Yeah. I believe that, Wes. Absolutely. I've heard that too. Hey, tell me real quick, flip to Colorado, Stephen. Is Lauren Boebert winning?
Let's see. Of course, they're not showing me Boebert here. I won't be able to pull it up on the screen because I have multiple windows on top of multiple tabs open here. Let's see. Colorado, Boebert.
Colorado 3.
She is behind by 3 points with 77% reporting. So she might actually lose that.
And that sucks because, Boebert has been awesome. I have been a huge fan of her in in the Congress. I mean, she's kicked ass, and I hope that she doesn't lose that seat because, man, Lauren Boebert's a good representative.
You mentioned the diesel shortage, and if it gets as bad as I think it's going to get, if we have a diesel shortage, I mean, we can't ship anything. Trains use diesel, trucks use diesel. It's already $5.40 a gallon in North Carolina. Maybe it's best we don't win by a landslide in this election so that they can still blame the left for this crap.
Here's what I don't understand about the diesel shortage. I thought that it took less refining, that diesel was a less refined fuel than gasoline. So I didn't think that it took as much to refine it.
It's a manufactured crisis, and then you've got fuel oil for the winter, the heat. So it's really going to be bad.
Well, that's exactly what they're trying to do. But I mean, if we go back to what we normally talk about on this show, I mean, I don't think anybody is under any illusion of who's really in control of what. When you go to the 13 original bloodlines, go into who is who in the World Economic Forum, who is tied into the Council on Foreign Relations and every other globalist body, including the World Economic Forum. I mean, my goodness, you already know, because it's all leading to one thing. It's all leading towards they're obsessed with that one world government. They're obsessed with starving and withholding vital things and everything else. They're obsessed with killing off people. Yeah. Because it's all Depop agenda. So of course, anything to add to that, and they're going to add these manufactured crises so that they have scapegoats to blame. So that anybody that is a dissident or expresses any desire to push back against that, they're going to take out their opposition. So yeah, that's what it's all about. So that's the whole reason that this is manufactured.
Yeah.
The Republicans only need to flip one more seat in the Senate to take control, by the way.
Nice.
Very nice.
I really feel bad for all the people from the states where they're coming out in record numbers to vote, but they have the upper hand because they're making sure that they can fill any gaps that come in. At least that's what it seems like, and I feel sorry for those people, but I'm proud of them. I'm really proud of all the people that would get up and get in their car and drive there to place their ballots in the machines or in the boxes, because they did listen. They did try to do something, and that's what America's built on, is these people that are wanting a better life for their future and for their children and their grandchildren, and that's what it all boils down to. And that gives me hope that we can still work and fight and try to fix whatever's wrong. Hopefully, we can pull together a few more things and get something accomplished tonight to where it can help, chug towards the future.
The dude that was, I think the guy that was running for Congress in my district, I wasn't a big fan because in the old district map, I would have been able to vote for J.R. Majeski, but when they changed the districting around just recently, I wasn't able to vote for JR, because I would have been able to vote for him even shortly after we had him on this show. But then they changed the districting map, and it was just, it sucks. Because I think the guy that was running in our district, Dan, was Bob Latta or whatever.
Bob Latta.
Yeah. And I actually, at one point, back a little while back, I actually thought about, man, if I had money, I'd actually go and run against that guy.
By the way, we know somebody who almost ran against Bob Latta in this election, but he lost in the primary. Do you know who that was?
Was it Marty?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he got waxed. When he told me he was running, I'm like, you fucking idiot.
well, but he's also a Democrat.
Oh, he's a huge fucking liberal. But his only claim to fame is that he's a councilman at large in the city of Amherst, which is a population of like 2,000 or 10,000, or it's a tiny little town. And he thought he was going to win a chance to be a congressman for the United States. And I'm like, dude, stick to
Everybody
teaching.
can dream. Everybody can dream.
Yeah. I would have ran just to say fuck it, I'll run, but I knew I don't have a pot to piss in, so I wouldn't get the money together. But man, it would have been fun, But the minute I would have run for Congress, my God, somebody would come out of the woodwork and bury me. I know that guy 20 years ago. That guy was he made inappropriate advances toward me or something. Somebody would come out of the woodwork. They try to.
He said something that was racist back then, wasn't for a while, but is now racist again.
Yeah, that little Asian guy's racist.
God, I think, and even though Barack Obama was like part of the establishment, they even came out with, he wrote in kindergarten that he wanted to be president someday. Like, what the fuck? Really? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But, there you go, Trina.
You're disrespecting me.
No, man.
All right, you know what?
The Trina. Hey, look. Trina's a paisan, isn't she?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Come
on.
Yeah. No. We're talking about Amherst.
My shift as a hitman ended 20 minutes ago. I'm relaxing now.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that video about Bill Clinton being confronted about Epstein Island?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh yes. Oh my God!
I'm telling you, the expression on these guys' faces when you catch it, it's like he knows what's going on. It's like the evidence is pretty clear on that. All right, it is, buddy. It really is
very clear.
Yeah, Amherst is an no. We're talking about Amherst, Ohio.
No, this is a little different.
Big time difference. But yeah, the thing is, man, it would have been fascinating to try to, even get a congressional campaign together. But, honestly, if I'm just looking at it from my perspective, I'm too honest to get into the game of politics. I feel like
they would eat you alive, Drew. You're too
I feel like it would corrupt me, dude. And listen, I have a beautifully dirty mind. I can cuss with the best of them, but man, it would really corrupt me, and I don't want to be that kind of asshole.
You're gonna end up as like a pundit on one of those mainstream news primetime shows, and you're gonna have to watch your language, and you're gonna be miserable.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be one of those kind of assholes, man. I'm happy being a YouTuber / Twitch streamer, and I'm good with that. I'm happy with that. And besides, breaking news, guys, you're hearing it here first. I'm most likely leaving the state of Ohio because when my mom's house sells, I think I'm going to hit the bricks. I'm probably moving to Tennessee. So you heard that here first. Yes, I'm probably moving to Knoxville, Tennessee.
What's that song?
I guess me and Dan.
All my exes live in Texas. So I hang my hat in Tennessee.
That's right. I'm going to hang my hat in Tennessee, probably.
Did you guys already announce that Gretchen Whitmore won?
Yeah.
Let me double check
Michigan governor.
No, that was Fox News putting out their bullshit. I wouldn't trust that. They're only reporting 44% of Michigan right now.
I just saw it come across on Twitter. I wanted to make sure.
That's Fox News calling it too early. Yeah, that's all it is.
In Maryland.
Oh, do we?
Democratic governor in Maryland now.
Oh, yay! Well, hey, glad I got the hell out of that.
Who won in Maryland?
I forgot his name. Just hold on. Let me back it up a little bit. I got it right here. No, that's not.
Here, let's see.
No, that's not it.
for governor.
Wes, I loved your
tweet. There it is. Come on. Projection. Governor races.
Moore won over Cox.
That's Connecticut. Moore, thank you. I was gonna say that's Lamont from Connecticut.
Yeah.
They called that. They called like MSNBC is like the last one to call that one, which is ironic considering.
I mean, they're only reporting 62%, but that's a pretty solid lead for Moore. So I'd say as far as a projection goes, you can call that. You can probably call that one. Massachusetts
only had 35 in. So.
Oh, it's California. What do you expect?
I know, but it's all I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the big takeaway from today is going to be when they look at the shenanigans in Arizona and in Pennsylvania again. And my goodness, is this deja vu or what? We're right back in 2020 election territory, because we're going to be looking at this again.
We
never got out of it, people.
So here's the key takeaway: that Brandon isn't the beginning and the end of that. That the powers behind folks like Brandon are the ones to look at, and it's not those elected officials; it's the people behind them. That's the key takeaway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, but Katie Hobbs, she's the Secretary of State for Arizona, so
it's just, man.
If this keeps up, maybe not for long.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It makes your blood boil because again, we've had a running conversation tonight where we're talking about accountability, and it seems like these people are getting away with illegal activity. There's no accountability. And what are we going to do? Is it just going to be like the YouTubers and
it's
streamers?
The Wild West again? It's lawlessness.
Well, is it just going to be?
It is.
Is it just going to be the independent journalists and the Twitch streamers and YouTubers that call these people out and shine a light on it?
Yep.
I mean,
that's what I was going to say earlier. That
you got Project Veritas
on this. You guys want
groups
action
like
on this?
that. That's
it might actually have to go mainstream for there to be action on it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, remember what we were talking about last night, Will? We were joking around. If I won the Mega Millions, we would open a studio and start our own news network. I mean, we really may have to think about putting together a business plan and starting our own news network, not even unironically. If we really want to affect
change, we're going to have to we're going to have to invest in one of these, we're going to have to make a major investment in one of these big three networks and,
no, we just need to start our own news network.
Yeah, you got to make sure you have your own servers.
And
they're going to be cutting you out as soon as you start making a ripple.
But we got to do what Laura Logan said, because she said it when Wes and I were interviewing her. There needs to be more independent journalists willing to blow the whistle and expose the stuff.
What would be the best is if we did that. If we did that, and all of a sudden, some mainstream journalists on the lower end of the pay scale maybe came to their senses and ended up joining our cause, God forbid, They don't even have to join our network. That would be great if they did, but if they, just to jump over our side.
Well, the spirit of investigative journalism is supposed to be follow the truth, no matter where it may lead, no matter how unpleasant it is. Just get to the truth.
As opposed to the buck stops here.
And it's become absolutely bastardized because it's always been, get to the narrative instead of get to the truth. And we need to change it to get to the truth, because people deserve to understand. So Big John just threw this out there. Current House count: 168 Republicans, 116 Democrats. Nice.
Good.
Well, it's a scary thought when you think about it, that when you pick up the newspaper in the morning, you're reading the National Enquirer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's reality now. Okay. It's not a meme or a joke or a conspiracy theory anymore. It's reality.
What's going
And
on,
that's
buddy? Great to see
bad.
you.
That's where we
Oh.
are.
Well, you know
Oh
what?
man, you mean Bush was really talking to aliens in 2000? Damn it!
They're interdimensional.
I think Bush is an alien.
Could be. Their
Well,
family could be aliens.
Look,
actually.
why do you think?
Don't even get me started on the Elephant Man.
Why do you think? You know, and I say this dead seriously. Why do you think so many people go and legitimately look up stories on InfoWars because they're not going to get the same reporting on a site, you know, from NBC or CBS or ABC. You know, that's why people go to Breitbart. That's why people go to you know, these other sites. That's why people on YouTube, and shout out to Right Side Broadcasting Network because I love their stuff. That's why people go to Right Side. You know,
Republicans have the House.
But you have to realize this now, that reality is what happened to InfoWars, okay, as of the court case that just went through, right?
Amen, Keely.
Okay, that's what you got to look forward to. Any person like us that dares to stand up to them, and we're nothing because we're just little pebbles in their shoe, basically, are going to end up like them. You know, we're going to end up having nothing. They're going to take you to court and drag you through court and make you pay millions of dollars to whoever it is that you hurt their feelings or said something, or because you were trying to find the truth, and they don't want you to do that. So that's what we've been forced into. There is no, look at Fox News, democracy in working. I mean, they don't even, they blatantly show nothing but lies and throw whatever they want out to see what sticks.
It's
They
the
don't
title of
care
their
whether
election
it's
coverage, by the
reality or
way.
not.
Fox
And when you and
Elections
I
2022
start a
democracy.
business and start trying to tell the truth, you and I are the next target. We're the one they're going to take to court and, you know, bastardize on TV. You see,
I think Steven's got to head out here.
I'd like Steven to have the floor. I'd like to shoot him out of here real quick, Steven.
All right, I'm ready. I got my bulletproof vest on. Yeah, I just wanted to give some quick updates here. I know they already called New York for Zeldin, but I'm going to say he's really been closing the gap as they've been counting the votes. 26 left to report, and it's less than a 10-point gap. When they were reporting earlier, it was like a 30-plus point gap when they called it. So I wouldn't completely count Zeldin out at the moment. Dixon, the Michigan votes are really trickling in slow, so it's hard to tell. But she's also closing that gap. We're only looking at 5-point difference now. Let's see. Georgia was already called.
Wait a minute. Who are you talking about, Stephen?
Tudor Dixon.
Because you kept mentioning Gap, and I just kept. Why is he talking about AOC? No, never mind.
That's Stacey Abrams. That's Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams. Man, you could land a wide
shot, please.
Dude, you could park a double wide trailer between Stacey Abrams Gap.
God, I hope Michael Strahan never runs for office.
I know.
So I wouldn't call Tudor Dixon out yet. Those votes are trickling in. Also, Arizona, I mean, we already knew there was a lot of problems going on there. Those votes are coming in really slowly. Like everyone else a lot of other places are getting a lot closer to finishing up their votes, finishing up the count. I mean, heck, Georgia's up to 90% now. Arizona did also end later than most other places. Their polls closed at 10 o'clock Eastern. So it's going to take them a little bit longer, but they've barely reported a single percent in the past, I'd say 45 minutes. So we'll see what's going on with that. I wouldn't count Carrie Lake entirely out yet because she's been closing the gap the whole time. Once again, saying gap. That's another word you can add to the list of taking a shot.
All right, Carrie Lake, according to her Twitter, she just posted as of 13 minutes ago on Twitter, Cochise County dropped a batch of election day ballots, and Carrie Lake won a whopping 73.9% of that drop. So
I will go to bed tonight guaranteeing that race is not over. I mean, forget by morning. It's gonna be quite a few
So she's down. So she's down, but not out. We'll say that right now. She's down, but not out.
And the longer the jury's out, the better, right?
Yeah, for somebody.
Yeah.
But yes,
For her.
everybody, I gotta head out. I got work, and I gotta get up in about 6 hours.
All right,
work.
Stephen, tell everybody where to find you.
Yes, you can find me Fridays on my second channel, Blast from the Past Reviews, and then Sundays you can find me over on Ord's World, his second channel, for the Sunday morning podcast at 12 o'clock Eastern, because that's morning for some people. Yeah, that's what I got going on right now, and I'm trying to get the shorts going again on my Blast from the Past channel. Those were doing really well. It's just trying to juggle everything going on. But I will be finishing up my 31 Days of October challenge for putting those short reviews out. Yep. Other than that, have a great one, everybody. And definitely looking forward to seeing how the rest of this election goes. We are really close to getting the Senate, just like Will was saying, one more seat. That's it. But I will catch all of you guys later.
One more month.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. What's left in the Senate races so far?
Hawaii is too close to call.
Well, they're saying that Republicans have 170 seats and the Democrats have 119 in the House.
Okay, because I want to see us get 2 more seats. We get 2 more seats, we are in good shape.
Well, they said that we need 5 more. Is what they're saying on the news. I guess to have majority or whatever, something like that.
They called the. Actually, no. I'm sorry. That's Secretary of State. I apologize. Get ahead of myself.
Oh wow, Nevada right now. Nevada Senate race. Adam Laxalt's winning.
Yeah,
which is good.
She actually did win. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Adam Laxalt is winning right now. Herschel's up 2 points, 49-47.
Again, yeah.
So
they may as well just send everybody at those rallies home.
Oh wow. Wow, did this really just happen? Okay. Arizona governor, Lake versus Hobbs. Carrie Lake is now up.
Woohoo!
She is up.
I'm done, man.
3.5.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
And there's Jenga.
Yeah.
Has to be more than that.
Carrie Lake is up right now, and that is very interesting.
I would love to see huge meltdowns tomorrow on Twitter. I've already been seeing some of them, and why we've been chatting and talking about this and conversing with the awesome people in the chat. I've been smacking the Democrats around that are sitting there crying and talking about where they're going to go next. I'm enjoying this. This is going to be great. I'm going to be able to meme these bitches for weeks. I expect no less than 800 blocks by the end of this week.
Drew, what's your source on I'm sorry, Janet, but Drew, what's your source on this Carrie Lake point jump?
I'm looking.
Yeah, I don't see it yet either.
Yeah,
I still have 56.7 to 43.3.
Yeah, that's what I have too. I'm looking at the New York Times.
Okay, yeah.
I got the Associated Press.
Sorry, this is off the one I'm looking at. Yeah, okay.
I hate to I hate to drag everybody back down to earth, but
yeah,
the truth. It's all about the truth, right?
That's right. No,
sometimes the truth hurts like a motherfucker.
We aim for accuracy. I just
Well,
pulled up.
I was just going to read this tweet. It says the Democrats stuck with acceptable losses. They let the GOP win the House fair and square, put all of their eggs in PA, GA, ZA Senate seats.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that's a good tweet or a believable tweet?
Well, Jones was talking about this earlier. He's like, they're going to let them win the House in a narrow majority so they can pin the coming recession, economic troubles, and diesel shortage on the Republicans.
That's exactly what a lot of these tweets are saying from my people that believe, they wanted a red wave. They're saying the same thing. So.
Well, how much of that is just damage control at this point? Because, okay, the big giant wave that everybody was kind of hoping is not really manifesting, but it stirred them up enough and they are scared. So now they're trying to find a way to spin the narrative. A lot of these people are going to be doing it. And you're going to see that in the coming weeks, especially with all the freaking extreme left Democrats. They're going to find ways to spin this narrative. Say they're probably going to drag Hillary's corpse out again to put it on front stage to try to spin the narrative for them, because that's their go-to. Because everybody's scared that if they say something or that they might wind up Minecrafted the next day. So
suicided.
If you think about it, I mean, let's put it where it's at. Today still was basically a huge red wave. So that's put them on notice, plain and simple.
Well, I think they already were on notice. I think this would be God.
Fetterman's up about
I think they were expecting the huge red wave, so any victory.
Across.
Yeah, go ahead, Wes. What?
Yeah, any victory for them would be like a huge victory. That would be, okay, we can get away with it again.
Yep. That's God. I'm just fed up right now. I'm so ticked about this is happening because that's what I've been saying all along, is that they're going to do what works for them, and it paid off last time and it was worth the risk, and they're doing the same thing, and it's happening in basically exactly the same places because those people are already in place. And it didn't matter what changes their states made or said they made in their courts, because if the court's not going to follow through with it after the fact, it's going to drag out for another 2 years, and they'll say, oh, right before, we changed a few more laws, blah, blah, just like they did this time. So it's just push it down the road a little bit more, kick the can, see if anything happens, which we know nothing will happen. And that's the sad fact about it.
Well, here's another thing that I think a lot of people miss too, and it is one of the reasons why so many of us actually been bitching about entertainment and everything else. Because whether people want to believe it or not, or whether they realize it or not, a lot of this entertainment stuff has led into why some of these races are so much closer than they really ever should be. There's no reason for a mentally deficient egghead like Fetterman to even come close to getting into office. This should never happen. But because this shit has been pushed in entertainment for it's really been decades that they've been sprinkling this shit in entertainment. They've been working it into schools since the early 80s or so, from the one article I was reading that my dad had at his house before he passed away. And people just kind of turned a blind side. Well, it don't really matter. Well, it does matter, because as you slowly start introducing all these ideas, you begin to brainwash people. And that's why you get some of these extreme lefties that no matter how bad it is, they'll say, oh, well, I'm willing to pay more for freedom. Well, what tell me exactly what part of your freedoms are being taken away. Oh, well, my freedoms of getting an abortion are being taken away. Are they really being taken away in the state you live in? Well, not in my state. Then why do you care? Does it really affect you? Because it's always been a state-by-state legislation for something like that. I mean, the same thing with where they come across and they try to tell states how they can have their voting processes done. That shit from the beginning was always to be left up to the states. And now they're trying to say, oh, well, there should be federal mandates on how people should vote. No, there shouldn't be. And
Well-
unfortunately, this goes back to entertainment, schooling, and everything else that's brainwashed some of these idiots into believing that, no, this ain't the way it should be. It should be more like the socialist agenda that's been trickled into everything. And I mean, people really needed to pay attention to that shit a little bit earlier, I think. Go
The
ahead.
thing is, if you teach a kid in school that everybody gets a trophy, okay, and that everyone wins, and that doesn't matter how you perform, you're going to win anyways, right? So as they grow up, when they're always told that no matter what, they're a winner, and then when they go to college, they're taught things that there's no jobs for, like, you know, lesbian basket weaving or whatever, you know, some degree they get. Okay, they go out, they can't get jobs, so they end up being on welfare or get Section 8 housing and stuff like that, and then they're still told, well, run for office, you know, do this, do that, and then pushing people that are not qualified for a job. Just think about it. When all of our firemen,
Stacey Abrams,
all of our police officers, all our paramedics are all just given jobs because you got to have a badge on, see, even if they're not qualified to do the job, how many people are going to die because of it? See, it matters when it comes to people's lives and being in danger. If you have a 90-pound woman over here that gets a degree so she can be a paramedic, and then you got a 200-pound woman over here that got the same degree, and they go in and apply for a job, which one are you going to hire? Okay, are you going to hire the 90-pound woman that can't go in and put the person on the gurney and save their life and get them out in the ambulance as fast as possible? No, I wouldn't. I don't care that she's a woman. I care that she can't do the job to where she needs to be able to do the job. See, that's what should matter, but it doesn't matter anymore. I mean,
By the way,
you know what,
and get any job you want.
By the way,
it's like almost a like a modern form of kind of affirmative action to a certain extent, you know?
Yeah,
Well,
and that's what it is, and that's what I see is where we're at now because of the years and years of doing that to people. There's no one qualified. I mean, it's getting, the qualifications is so low now that anybody can just walk in and take this job, and they don't know what the heck they're doing. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing, just like you just said about Fetterman, he shouldn't even be in this position.
Well, I would vote for Dolomite, motherfucker. But no,
It's pathetic. It's like we're watching a comedy show or something. It's not reality, but it is. It's a Twilight Zone. That's where we're at.
I tell you what, Janet,
this ain't doing the job.
I tell you what, Janet, this guy right here, Rorschach is more qualified to be in office than Fetterman.
Well, I would say honestly, you know, by the way, Janet, you're polling very high because the chat loves the fact that you came up with the lesbian basket weaving.
That was
our buddy.
I might as well just quit. I'm a fraud.
Our buddy Troy Pacelli, you know, he loves him some of that.
I'm just, I was just trying to put it out, but it's useless job that nobody will hire you for. That's what I was thinking.
And Red Shirt approves. Absolutely. You know, so. but no, you know, it's crazy. There has to be, and I don't know how you do this. I don't know if you make civilian. I don't know if you make states accountable to a civilian election committee and have election oversight. But there has to be oversight of the election process by the, you know, it absolutely has to happen. There has to be accountability. There has to be transparency. There has to be, you know, it has to go by the law. You know, this can't keep happening. You know, and I mean, it's an embarrassment at this point that you see questionable things happen in the same places, just coming off a major presidential election.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. They figured out that they only need certain places in certain cities to be able, like you said, because the cities, you look at the whole state is red and you got 2 or 3 blue dots and they're making all the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you? that's a broken system is what it
It
tells
is
me.
a broken system.
Yep.
You know,
So the only way to win is by going into your city councils and your sheriff departments or whatever else and voting these people out, the people out in your local, and cleaning house, and then work your way up to the state level, and then we have to work up from there. That's the only thing I could think of doing. We have to start from scratch in every state and work our way back up again. That's the only thing I can think of. And then the same thing that we were talking about earlier about changing it to where it's not popular vote anymore on how you get your votes to be sent off with the electoral college for each state. I mean, something like that. We've got to make changes like that and start a grassroots, form of somehow to get these people in each state to work together to try to clean each state up and go from there. I mean, I just don't see any other way to do it. I mean, what we're doing is not working apparently because we don't own the courts. The courts are the ones that are going to end up going to the court, and the court's going to say, Chuck, get rid of it. It's not worth our time. And
that's right.
that's
Or
I
if they
don't
make
see
a
it working.
change, it'll only take effect at the next election, which gives everybody
Exactly.
2, 3, 4 years to make arrangements.
Yeah.
That's an eternity.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see any other way to do
but
it.
it's actually an eternity.
All right. Well, we've had a hell of a good show. We've given you, pretty clear up to the moment results as we got them, and I want to thank everybody. We'll go through a last roundup of results before we go, but as soon as we go through the last remaining ones, we'll get out of here. So, what's the latest on the Herschel Walker race?
11,000.
So it's looking it's
plus
flipped.
11,000 plus is the difference with 91 in.
It looks like it just flipped back blue, just by a little bit, but it looks like it's going to go to a runoff still.
Okay.
In the end, I guess that's really what it comes down to. Is that and in the end, it really doesn't matter what it is because it's going to go to a runoff. See you in a month.
All right. Let's go to the Oregon governor. Oregon governor's race should be that's let's see.
I show 45.9% in favor of the Democrat, 44.4.
Wow.
Okay, so that's
another one that might not be decided tonight.
So that's still really close. So Christine Drazen and folks, you want Christine Drazen to win because she's gonna kind of carry Oregon into she's gonna clean up Oregon. Let's put it that way. Right now, this lady that's in there, she lets Antifa run wild. She's an asshole. You don't want the Democrat in charge of Oregon any longer. So if Drazen wins, it's going to be significant because, as we said before, they haven't had anybody in the governor's chair since '78 that is a GOP candidate. It would be unprecedented.
It's only 55% of the vote in, and it's still pretty close. So,
but
yeah,
how
that's real
close
close.
is it?
Oh, it's
How
real
close
close
is that
right
race?
now. Yeah.
Which
it is.
55%.
Let's see.
Like obviously, are they still counting in Multnomah County?
Less than 20,000 votes, Janet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's still in play. The so far 20 the Senate Democrats 46, Republicans 46, House Republicans are they have firm control of the House. So we're looking good there. Republicans actually gained a seat in the House, so there we go. let's go over to how one last check on the Kerry Lake race before we go.
I haven't seen any updates, so let's refresh and see.
I saw it about 5 minutes ago. It was the same.
48% reporting. They haven't updated it since that first big dump.
Yeah, it's not been updated.
Does anybody want to hear a shocker?
What's that?
So, apparently, Stacey Abrams has at least conceded on one election.
That's a miracle.
Yes, he actually conceded. Wow.
Hallelujah.
That's crazy.
Huh.
All right. Well, I think we are going to call the stream there. Thank you again, folks, for showing up in force. Philip Gaming, great to see you, buddy. Of course, Steve popped in, Dwayne, and all the latecomers that were here, everybody that was here the whole time, and Troy and Red Shirt and Lasso and Soul Assassin and just everybody that was here. Thank you so much for supporting the stream, for joining us tonight. Sentinel, I see you, buddy. I'm glad that you were here. Thanks for joining us and giving us your time and checking us out on both YouTube and Twitch. This is my first simulcast event where I went on both my channels, but the significance of it was important, so that's why I did.
My introduction to Twitch.
So we will go around the panel, and I'll let everybody kind of talk about what they got going on, where you can find them. Of course, we've got coming up Sunday, the Midnight Prism will be on again, and I'll figure out a topic for that. But until then, let's check out all the wonderful people on the panel, and we will start with Tobet, because Tobet has a channel.
Hey, thank you. I just want to say thank you to Supreme Heretic Drew. Thank you for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it. I have my own YouTube channel. It's Tobet, and I cover news, politics, comedy, and retro video games. Please check me out. And also on Twitter at Real Tobet. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for being on, buddy. It's much appreciated because you killed it tonight, dude. You really did.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. And then we got we will go over to Mr. Will.
Yes, and no, I do not have a channel. Still don't have a channel, but I wouldn't have time for it anyway because I'm too busy helping Drew move. But now that I know he's leaving the state, I may have to do something to sabotage that. Oh, well, I'll think about that later. Obviously, I'm planning on starting my Kerry Lake vigil as of the moment I wake up tomorrow morning, because I guarantee you that race is not over. A lot of surprises tonight. Most of them disappointing, but the fact is, and yeah, that red wave didn't come, but at the same time,
it did come.
Well, I had delusions of grandeur. Maybe I'm just a perfectionist by nature. Maybe that explains the tie. I don't know. You will not see me in this outfit again, and I'm gonna and that's how I'm gonna end this. No more time. I'm sure.
All right, and we will go over to Wes.
Hey, everybody. Good to be here to share the celebration and commiseration on this United Resistance midterm special. So I am Wes of Whatevercast. This is my second channel. I was unfortunately one of those folks that was unceremoniously by YouTube earlier this year. That was fun. Years of hard work down the drain. You can find me at youtube.com/whatevercastofficial. And so let's keep the faith. I mean, this will tell us what exactly we're up against, and that's why we're here. I'm blinking on StreamYard. That's weird. But I'm not on YouTube, so you're not seeing it. Anyway, you can find me at youtube.com/whatevercastofficial. Talk about pop culture, current events, and whatever the heck I want to. Hope to see you there. See ya.
Boy, Wes, I'll tell you, the way this is going, well, we're going to have enough fodder for content between you and I to last weeks, So, conspiracy or conspiracy, perhaps. Let's
Conspiracy for sure.
let's go over to Mr. Dan Gillis, one of my colleagues in journalism and, one of my longtime friends in my life.
Thank you, Drew. Thanks again for having me on your show. I really wanted to be on this one, considering what was at stake today. And it was fun to talk about some of the results that are happening in full time or in real time, and hopefully keep the faith that some of these too close to calls will flip red, and we will ride the red wave to glory in 2023 and beyond. I do not have a YouTube channel. I may one day. Depends. You can find me on Twitter at Dan Gillis 1973. I currently cover high school football for Cleveland.com/The Plain Dealer. I'll be covering a game Friday night. What game am I covering? Why am I drawing a blank? Toledo Central Catholic and Medina Highland out in Southie Perkins. Yeah, 2 versus 3. So follow me on Twitter for updates on that game, and then go to Cleveland.com and read my story. I also nothing on the music front until December 3rd. My Black Sabbath tribute band Wall of Sleep will be playing in Avon Lake, Ohio, at a club called The Quarry. That'll be right now the last show that I do for 2022. So I'm excited about that. I also just launched a new tribute to Ronnie James Dio, one of my personal heroes. The band is called The Mob Rules. Fitting because everybody in the band is also a proud patriot like me. So the name serves a few purposes in that regard. Stay tuned for that. You can find me on Facebook under my real name, also under Gil Daniels. That's my I've been thrown in Facebook jail quite a few times profile. And find my bands at Wall of Sleep Sabbath and Made in America, Ohio. Until then, you guys are awesome. I was Dan. Keep the faith, brothers and sisters.
Nice. And we will go over to Janet from Another Planet.
Thank you guys for letting me be on here tonight. And my channel, I just do shorts. And I'm also reading my book, Revelation. It's about witches, warlocks, and vampires. And I do it in small little bite-sized pieces, like 15 minutes or less. And Tuesday night, you can find me here with Bruce and the rest of with Drew and the rest of the panel. And on Monday nights, I'm on Bruce Lombardo's channel, and we do movie reviews. So thank you for having me again. And you can find me on TikTok.
And
Janet from Another Planet. Hopefully I can be more of a devil in the next couple of months and spice things up a little bit.
And Janet's our resident hot chick, man. She just
I'll burn your ass. No,
I'll burn your ass.
Is that a promise?
Let's go.
Maybe.
Oh,
have to wait and see.
Let's go over to Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective.
Rorschach's Journal, 11/9/22. Heard Janet talk about shorts and bite-sized pieces. Must investigate further. Sounds hot. What's going on, everybody? Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. You know where to find me. Just follow the trail that the guinea pigs left, that they've taken everything out of your fridge and brought it back here for us to devour. Still doing shorts at the moment, having a lot of fun with that, but I do have internet again, so I'm going to get back into doing videos, get back into doing some of the live streams again. Finally, because CenturyLink has finally decided to give the piggies what we wanted. We went in there, we took over, we assimilated everybody in the building, and now we finally got some workable internet. So hoorah for that. Having a lot of fun doing the shorts still, though, and I'm going to keep doing them, man. They were just a blast. But maybe adding another live stream. I did get a few people that actually requested doing live BattleBot fights, so I may wind up running a few live streams here and there doing the BattleBot fights live, where I let the people in the chat actually pick the fight. So that should be a lot of fun. I would also like to take the time to remind the people that are out there that like to talk shit and just like to make up a lot of nonsense and then try to use other people that ain't around anymore as a platform to try to further their own agenda and goals. The Guinea Pig Collective is watching you, and you will suffer the consequences for your stupidity if you keep it up. I think you should probably wake up, use some common sense, and just back away before you wind up getting your toes nibbled off. But guys, remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence gives consent. We will assimilate your asses. Thanks, Drew, Janet, Wes, Tolbeck, good to see you. Dan, nice to see you as well. Will, always a pleasure, buddy. And Steven, even though he's not here, you're still with us in spirit. Thank you. And thank you to all the wonderful people in the chat. You all are amazing. I hope you have an awesome night.
Yeah, and listen, I wanted to, again, say thank you to the viewers. I mean, you guys, without you, there is no show. There is no United Resistance. There is no us. I mean, you're the essence of it all. But I also want to, recognize our moderators and the people that make this show. We had tonight Godzillionaire and Lasso of Truth, and Tina Bojan was modding. Tina's such a great supporter of this channel. She goes in, not only is she a viewer, but she mods here and she helps, and she does a little bit of everything. So she's like super awesome. And of course, we've got a lot of people that really help out. Red Shirt, and and Troy, and just so many people. And I'm so appreciative of what you guys do and the support that you give. And thank you tonight for the super chats. And anybody that wants to help out and financially support the channel, you can at any time by using the exclamation point tip command. This right here, streamelements.com/SupremeHeretic/tip. You can tip there, or you can just go ahead and send a super chat anytime you like. Because you can even do that, I believe, now on my videos. You can send a super comment or whatever. So you have that. And pretty soon, we are going to have channel memberships, because I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, Drew, do some member streams. So we'll get those put together. I just got to figure out, the membership tiers and
I got a question. If you wind up doing member streams, does everybody get a raincoat just in case?
Yeah, sure. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to the chatters. Thank you for everybody that participated tonight. And if it's your first time watching my content, please come by again. We enjoy it. And it isn't always just politics. I do handle the paranormal and the unexplained on Sundays on the Midnight Prism. And you can catch that exclusively on my YouTube channel at Supreme Heretic. And of course, hopefully in the near future, we'll have some content coming up for Twitch as well. So thank you again. And you guys have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
That's right. And I can't even find the outro because I'm a boomer.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hi, Coast Casino.
Hey, welcome to Sporking News Podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm E. Temple Queen of the Place to Be Reviews.
I am the Patriot, Drew Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic.
The Red Gaze on YouTube, at the Red Gaze on Twitter.
What up, what up, what up?
Hello, everybody. It's me, Vinny.
the voice of Immortal Coil.
Oh, hey, I am the Ghost Bear.
What's going on, Tommy? You get anybody to like this?
Yeah, I'm Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Tone, death, rockin'.
I mean, we have a lot of cool things over there. I do some magic tricks.
Hi, guys. Try to stay here.
My name is Monkey Knight.